Okay, welcome back again. Today we have a video going over the Boa leader. So this was piloted at the recent Auckland regionals in New Zealand by Neiss Lim. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. And this was an interesting pick. It's not one I think many people suspected would win a regionals, especially the first regionals of set 8. He did post that it does have a pretty suspicious matchup into the black decks, the Lucci and the Luffy, but he only played one, so that's pretty good. And into the other decks, this deck's pretty good. You've got Raging Tiger for decks like Bonnie, and for decks like Black Yellow Luffy. You have the Red Rock to get rid of big characters against decks like Pudding, and decks like, again, Bonnie. You've got the Warlord spam to have some sort of aggro presence, with the Jinbei into the Moria, Mihawk, Law, and Doflamingo blocker. You have the Sengoku to try and make your Jinbei combos happen a little sooner. We've got the two Kaidos. I'm not sure about these Kaidos. They didn't really come up much for me today, but definitely need to do more testing. This Kaido sucks into Black Luffy, especially. If they have a Don their leader, you just can't bounce anything. This Kaido's not so bad. We have the Gion for the Nami matchup. We have the Pudding. This is really good against everything. It's great against Nami. It's good against Bonnie. It can be nice against Black as well. Sometimes they don't have a counter early, and you can hit them with the Pudding just to rip a couple cards. You have the Boa. This card's really nice. Freeze a character, get rid of one of their searchers, or one of your searchers, and then you get to draw a card with the leader effect. This is the new card from 08, this is the Jozu. You can pick up one of your searchers, either your Sengoku or your Kaya. You can also pick up something else like a Jinbei, but it's usually one of these. And then you bounce a 6, which is really nice. You can bounce a Sabo blocker. If a black deck plays that on 5, you can bounce the 6-cost Katakuri in the Pudding matchup. There's a lot of things you can bounce, it's pretty cool. I have the Gecko Moria as a Warlord and Recursion. This is a 2k Warlord. You have the Gum Gum Rain, because you do play quite a few bricks in this deck. All your events are bricks, your Kaidos are bricks, your Boa is a brick. So the Gum Gum Rain just makes it a little nicer. You probably don't need 2, you could potentially go to 1, I think. The Red Rock and the Raging Tiger are our removal options, and we have one Perfume Femur against those decks that love to spam out blockers. If you can't find your Raging Tigers against a Black Yellow Luffy, for example, and they don't manage to stay at 1 life, the best Black Yellow Luffy players are always at 1 life after they do their 9k combo, but sometimes they can't get there if they have some rough draws, or if they're a slightly less experienced player. You can play the Perfume Femur and just swing 15 into 9 and make them have it. This deck's pretty cool. These are some of my first games with Boa. I played a little bit of Doffy in the past, but they do play a little differently. Let's get into the games. Okay, so we have a game here against the Kalgara. Now, I'm going to go second in this one. We're looking, of course, the Raging Tiger is lovely. Also looking for a Jinbei combo though. Don't see one. We can counter out early with the Mihawk and then play the Moria to grab back the Mihawk. We do have the Pudding. And the Raging... I think we'll mulligan this one. Try to find a Jinbei. Do we play out the Kaya here? I think we potentially do play out the Kaya here. I don't think this is going to be terribly useful. Yeah, we'll play out the Kaya. Crash the Kaido and the Gum Gum Rain. Yeah. And end the turn. We do have the Moria, so if he just wants to swing for a 6 and then play out Shura, we'll counter this one with the Law. No effect. Trash for counter. And he keeps 2 Don open. Interesting. I think we'll go with the 5. If he takes this, I'll Pudding him. If not, I'll play out the Moria and grab back a 2k. Counters with the L4 very early. Okay, we'll play out the... I play out the Doflamingo blocker actually. Yeah, I think we'll play out the Doflamingo blocker. So we're going to go to 6. This boa is really nice on 6. So we'll place on top. Definitely draw the boa. Then another boa is honestly pretty good. The Jinbei would be nice. Red rock, not so useful. I think we'll put the red rock to the bottom. We'll go like that and end the turn. I think this was still a nice play. We could have swung for 6. It wouldn't matter because he had the L4. But he whiffs on the Ohm, deploys the Holy from hand. Swing 6. Plays out the Wiper. I think we'll counter this other one while it's relatively easy. Going to draw the Boa, so we can swing 5 into his life. Play out the Boa, freeze the Wiper, bot deck the Kaya. Freeze this, bot deck this, draw a card, end the turn. And we do draw the Boa, of course. So we're going to draw into the Jinbei next turn. He swings the 6. Going to take this one. We do get a trigger. We can bot deck a 4. We definitely will. We'll get rid of this Ohm. He swings 6 again with the dog. He has 3 remaining. Neither of these can attack. This is maybe just playing out another dog. I think we'll take this one. No triggers. Get the Jozu. It's not too bad. Mostly just a 1k counter, I feel. So we're going to draw the Moria here. We're going to 8. We can swing 7 into the dog. He finds an event. He keeps this Don up for the event. So I think we'll swing 7 into the dog. Get the dog out of here. Swing 8 into life. Does he get a trigger? He does get a trigger, the Satori trigger. In which case, do we want to go with the Jinbei into the Doflamingo? I think I'd rather play the Boa. Freeze this, bottom, nothing, and end the turn. Does have the Norland to heal a life. It's getting pretty scary. We really need to see our Raging Tigers soon. Is he going to play anything out? He's taking his time. Plays out the Kalgara. We'll give him the no blocker. Give him the pudding. And the Jozu. He's swinging 6, which normally Boa has a lot of 2Ks, but this game I just don't. We'll have to take this one. No triggers. And we'll block this one with the Doflamingo. So we do finally draw a 2K. We can do the Jinbei into the Moria to grab another 2K. And then play out the Doflamingo blocker. Which I think that's pretty good. We'll start with 9 into... We could go for game here. He has 1 for the Earth won't lose. But if we go 9 at life, and he takes, we can go 11 at life, and then 12. Are we ever living? If we play the Jinbei Moria, grab a 2K, we have, and then play the Mihawk, the Doflamingo rather. We can, if we clear this and this, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. We have 1 blocker and 5k counter. We can probably live 1 more turn. think if he has a Amaru, we might get cooked. If he can rest our Doflamingo blocker. Not drawing any Raging Tigers is really rough here. Maybe I should have bot decked with the first Doflamingo. Let's go for life. He does counter this one, that's fine. We can clear both of these, almost certainly. 9 into 7. 6 into 5. Play the Jinbei into the Moria. Grab back the Mihawk. And play out the Doflamingo blocker. We get the Raging Tiger. I don't think it matters now. I think this is the turn we're going to win next turn, or we're going to just lose. If he decides to play board, this could come in clutch, and I don't think we need any of these other cards. They don't tend to play blockers, so the Femar's not going to be great. I think we'll go with the Raging Tiger on the top. Then we'll put the 2K, and then the Femar. In the turn. If he has a 200 million volts Amaru, the rest of the Doflamingo blocker, I don't think we have a chance. He can go 9, 9, 9, 10. Does go with the 8 first. We'll definitely counter this one. He's not going to play anything out. No blockers. Definitely counter this. I think we'll use the blocker, lest we get Amaru'd. He must have the 5-cost ace, so we need to draw a counter here, and we do draw a counter. Oh, it's just a Noland. That's not going to do it. We'll swing 7 with the Jinbei. He gets a trigger. Flame Split to rest our Moria. That's fine. We'll swing 7 with our leader. He's thinking, nope. We'll swing 9 with the Boa. And unless this is a 0 cost or a beige, we should have this one. It's not. Attach all the Dom, attack into the leader. And we got there. He got a Frankie trigger off one of those, and a Wiper off the other. It was an interesting game. The lack of Raging Tigers really hurt us. If we could have got rid of these Kalgaras a couple turns earlier, that would have been insane. Maybe I could have played towards it more by bottoming, but taking the double Boa felt pretty good. I don't know. Let me know what you think. It's a good game against the Kalgara. Okay, and in this game we're going to be going against the Marco. Marco tends to like to go first. I think I'm still going to take second, so we can try and find out our Jinbei combo. The Pudding is going to be pretty good in this matchup, as are the Red Rocks. But we don't have a lot before that, so I'm going to mulligan this one. We do get a 2K, we get a Moria. We've got a Raging Tiger and a Red Rock. Not too bad. We do have the Perfume Femar for later if they start playing out the Marco blockers. We draw a Jinbei, nothing for 2. I'm going to counter this one so we can grab this back with our Gecko Moria on the next turn. He's just going to play a Pilaf. We could pudding him immediately, but I do quite like the idea of getting a couple bodies established. We're going to swing 5. And then we'll play out the Jinbei into Moria. On his 5, his plays are still quite limited. You can either play the 5-cost Marco, Play out the Moria, bring back the Mihawk. He can either play out the 5-cost Marco, but then he can't pop anything because he wouldn't get to use his leader effect. Or he can play the blocker Marco. Either of which I think we're fine with. He's going to have a lot of cards in hand. This pudding is going to go pretty hard this turn. He swings the 6. I think we'll cancel this one. He plays out the blocker Marco. Okay, so he's at 8 cards, so we're definitely going to drop the pudding. And then we'll swing 5, 5, 7. He gives us a pudding of his own. He takes the second 5, takes the 7. He's already down to 1 life. On the next turn, if he plays a medium-sized body, we can look to play the Gravity Blade to get rid of his Marco and whatever else he plays. If he chooses to play the Rush Ace, he might be able to clear our guys. We don't have a lot of defense. You could definitely argue that I should have took this first life here instead of countering out the Mihawk to try and defend these bodies. Let's see what he goes with. He is very low already. He plays out the Rush Ace, and then he's going to clear our bodies for sure. That's fine. He can have those. We get another Raging Tiger. I think this turn I'm going to Red Rock the Ace, swing 5 with the pudding, and then swing 6 with the leader. And in fact we can do the Red Rock after. So we will do that. We'll attack 5 with the pudding, 6 with the leader, Red Rock the Ace. Get another 2k out of him, or he takes, and on the next turn I believe that means we win. Let's get rid of this ace, draw a card, end the turn. So on the next turn we can Perfume Fema our leader, and slam in for 15. He would have to have, he's going to play at least 1 card here, I would imagine. He would need 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. Marco plays a lot of top end, a lot of bricks. The 5-cost Marco, I believe, is a brick. The Rayleigh, the Sanji, the Whitebeard, if they're playing that. He could play the Whitebeard and go to 7. That is a possibility, but I don't think we really care. We can still slam 15 into 7, and there's a good chance he can't counter that. He's not going to go with the Whitebeard. Puts a Don on the leader. Draws a card. So for 8, maybe he can do a Rayleigh and pop our pudding. Sticking with just the 1 blocker is a little risky. But blue doesn't have a lot of rush. You have the Rush Usopp, and that's about it. No need to defend the pudding. Do what he wants to do with his remaining 8 Don. He plays a Pilaf. Okay, that's not bad. And he plays another Marco. He does keep 1 up, potentially for a Radical Beam. In which case we can just play the Raging Tiger this turn. Get rid of both these Marcos. And then slam in for 8. If he has the Rad Beam and we use the Fema now, it could be bad. So I'm going to choose to do this. We'll Raging Tiger the Marcos, draw a card, attach all the Dons, attack, 8. And he just loses. He did not have a Radical Beam. He was baiting. In fact, he had 0k counter. Interesting. Well, that was certainly a game. Let's get to the next one. Here we have a game against the Pudding. They get to choose the turn order, so they're probably going to go first. That's fine with us. We can do the Jinbei combo, hopefully. They do. We have a Jinbei, we have a Sengoku to search our Warlord. Raging Tiger's pretty good. Let's keep this. Pudding is also nice because their hand is sometimes gets quite big. They do go first. See if they have a searcher. They have the pudding. They whiff on the pudding. That's very big for us. Okay. Let's play out the Sengoku. And we don't find a great Warlord. We do find the Doflamingo. Yeah, well, we could get the Boa. And then try and cycle with the Kaya. I think I'm going to take the Doflamingo. And I don't want to cycle with the Kaya. This Jozu is pretty nice to bounce their Katakuri. We can pick up the Sengoku and bounce the Katakuri. They flip reveal at 0 cost and a flamp, so a whole bunch of counter. We'll take this one. Nothing doing there. And they leave Wandon open for some reason. We do get the Mora off the top. We'll simply attack for 5. See if they want to take this event. They do. Then we'll do the Jinbei into the Doflamingo. And the red rock is going to be important. I think we'll start placing these on the top. We'll draw the red rock. And the rest of this is pretty bad, but we're going to bounce the Sengoku next turn. So we can potentially stack the deck in our favour. We'll draw the Law after that. I don't think the Raging Tiger... Or we'll draw the Mihawk. I don't think the Raging Tiger and the Femur are going to be very useful. So we'll stack them like that and end the turn. They're on 6. They can play out the Katakuri. And then ramp twice to go to Big Mum next turn. We are going to have the red rock for the Big Mum, which is really nice. They play the Flamp instead. So this pudding is looking pretty interesting. If they don't, they just have the 5 for revealing Blocker Law and a Flame Split. Interesting. We will give them no blocker, give them one of the puddings. Depending on what they play out here for 5. They go with 5 with the pudding. 2 for Viola, perhaps. If it is 2 for Viola, I think we'll go with the pudding next turn. Rip a couple cards out of the hand. So I don't think we'll be needing the Jozu. It'd be lovely to get a Warlords card we can recover with this Gecko Moria. We are drawing the red rock. This does mess up our plan a little bit to bounce these Sengoku to get rid of those trash cards on the top of the deck. But they're already pretty low. If we pudding them, oh, there's pudding. Yeah, there's the Viola. Okay. So I think we'll go with the pudding. Sengoku into the pudding. They're only going to 9 next turn, so they can only 9-mum. Then we'll swing 5 with the Jinbei, 7 with the Boa. Could swing 6/6 to dig for 2Ks, but my main goal is getting either one of their lives or this Viola. He does give us the pudding. Patch 7. Swing 7. Could have also swung with the Doflamingo blocker. That might have been a good idea this turn, actually. Does swing 5 into the Jinbei. I don't think I'll give him that. He's looking to 9-mum here, I expect. Which we can red rock next turn to draw a card. He does do that. He gets rid of the Jinbei. We do get the Mihawk. Probably should have let this Jinbei go to have something to grab with this Gecko Moria. Oh, never mind, I can't Red Rock and then Gecko Moria. Let's do 5 with the pudding. And I think we'll do 5 with the Doflamingo blocker. And 5 with the... He beiges our boa. That's fine. We'll do 5 with the Doflamingo blocker. And then we'll play out the Red Rock. To get rid of this Lim then. And we get another 2k, which is nice. We're finally drawing some 2ks for our Gecko to get back. We'll give him the Trafalgar Law here. He's going to just 10 mum. 10 mum. Very good. We do have the Perfume Fema. We don't have a lot else. We can Moria to grab back a 2k here. But beyond that, we don't have a great deal of plays. We can do 7 with the pudding and 7 with the Doflamingo. We'll do 7 with the pudding. Then we can do 7 with lead. We know this is a flame split. We don't know what this is. But we know this is a flame split. So if we're going to do that, we need to attack with the Doflamingo first. Or he will trigger and rest the Doflamingo blocker. We'll see what he does with the 7. He gets an event trigger to grab another 10 mum. So I think we will go for it. We know this is a flame split. If he wants to take it, he doesn't want to take it. That's great. In this case, we will play out the Moria. Swing for 5. Play out the Moria. Gives us the Brûlé. Deploy this, grab the Law, and the turn. So next turn, we've got 3 attacks with the Sengoku, the Gecko Moria, and the Boa Hancock. We can also defend whatever this pudding attacks into. And we'll give him the Trafalgar Law. The Lin can clear the blocker, that's fine, and he plays another 10 mum. Cool. So, game's getting a little out of hand now. This is going to be an important turn. I think we'll start by... We know this is still a flame split. I'm going to start by swinging 7 with the Moria. See what he wants to do. If he counters, he doesn't. It's another beige. So we can't go for game. That's tough. Right. We know this is the flame split, and he will trigger it to shut down our Sengoku. We have 8. We could swing 12 into the Linen. Hope he's bricked up. We can Raging Tiger to get rid of the Flampe, so that he can't go for game. And then swing 5 with the pudding. And draw a card. The triggers. The damn triggers. He's had 3 beige. Or we can leave this pudding up, standing upright, and play out the... We need to get rid of this Flampe, I think. We have such little counter. Yeah. Okay. Swing 5 with the pudding. Gives us the Brûlé blocker. And we'll just get rid of this. Draw a card and the turn. We do get a Boa if he decides to play board here with these Linlins, which he kind of has to. We can counter the 5. Do we want to? He has another 10 mum. We're in big trouble. We are in big trouble if he has another 10 mum. I think we have to counter this to keep him attacking the board so he can stay at 3 life and safely play this Boa next turn. It's not a 10 mum, it's a pudding. Okay. He finds the purple 9 mum. He does go with the 9 mum. Crashes the final card. Gains a life. Removes our Sengoku. Okay. We can play the Boa to freeze one of these Linlins and attack into the pudding. Or clear the pudding. We can also attack big into a Linlin. That doesn't seem great. So if we need 6 for the Boa, we can do... There's no point putting Dons on leader. We may as well leave them up in case we draw something off the Boa. So we will do 5 at lead. He has to take. And then we'll play the Boa, freeze the Linlin, bottom the pudding, draw a card, and if he whiffs a healing card next turn, maybe we've got a shot. We could also draw a nice 4 cost off of this Boa effect, off the leader effect when we play the Boa and bottom the pudding. That'd be really nice. He gets the events. He's seen 3 9 mums though, so I think the chance of him hitting the last one. He gets the 10 mum. The 10 mum is not good either. Jesus. Guys, drawing very well. Do this, freeze this, bottom this, use the card action. We draw a draw cardo. It's not useful. End the turn. Yeah, this guy's in 3 9 mums and 3 10 mums. That's pretty brutal. I'm not sure what I've done wrong here. We can't even counter this 5. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. We do get the red rock. I don't think it's going to be enough. No triggers there. Yep. Yeah, we've got no way to win this one. We can clear this, red rock this. We just don't have enough counter. Nope, that's the game there. And he had the 4th 10 mum in hand. Jesus. If you can work out what I could have done better here, let me know. I think. Okay, the next match we have here against the Yamato. I think I'm going to take first off them and try and find one of our Doflamingo blockers. We don't get a Doflamingo blocker. We do have a Sengoku to try and find one. Which is okay. Rest of the hand's not great though. So I'm going to mulligan this one. We do get the Doflamingo blocker. Very nice. We also get the pudding. They often try and take a lot of cards early on. They do go with the Momo. If their hand gets too big, we can play the pudding later. We have the Jinbei, which is very nice. Let's attack into the Momo. And then play out the Doflamingo blocker. Yep, these aren't bad. I'll start placing on top. I think I'm going to want to draw another Doflamingo blocker, potentially. And we don't need this Kaido for a while. We don't need this Perfume Theme for even longer, I expect. So we'll draw something like this. And end the turn. If they do just go 9, we will simply block. They do choose to go with the Otama or the Hiyori. This might be more of a slower Wano engine build. They do hit us with the 8. We can counter this one. I think next turn we're just gonna swing 6, then go with the Jinbei into the Doflamingo blocker that we've set on the top. So we'll just block this one. We'll go with the 6. See what they want to do. They take. Pudding's looking pretty good next turn. Deploy the Jinbei into the blocker. Okay, I think we're not drawing very much for the next couple of turns. We do have a red rock, which is quite nice. I'm somewhat tempted to just bottom this and try and draw something else. Not sure we're going to need the femur. Would love to find a Raging Tiger. These 2Ks aren't bad, but I think we're going to just bottom this and send that away. I'd like to draw into a Raging Tiger, because potentially they're going to try and play the 5-cost Momo out. They do go with the Samurai, so the Pudding is going to go very hard here. The most they can swing is 6. And we get to keep the Doflamingo. We'll stay nice and healthy so that their triggers are not live. We draw into another Pudding. Okay, well, we'll just hit them with the Pudding. And then we'll do 6 with the Jinbei. And then 7 with the leader, so they can't get a free block with this Momo. They choose to block this one with the Momo and give us 1. We'll swing 7. They don't. They'll probably block this one and give us the Otama. Yep, that's fine. On the next turn, we're going to 9. We can potentially play out the Red Rock. They do go with the Hiyori. Which was what they got off the Momo. Put a card back. We swing 6 into our life. We don't have a lot going on next turn. I'm tempted to take this one. And then if they decide to go big with this Momo, we can block with the Doflamingo blocker. So I think we will actually... No, we don't need to. There's no point. We might as well counter out of these little hits. What does this do? When attacking, you may discard 2 cards, return. Okay, that's pretty cool. He can put the Hiyori on top of his life if he trashes 2 from hand. It's interesting. So I think we will red rock the Momo. There's not a lot else going on. And we can get to draw a card off the ability. So let's do that. Draw a card. We get the Raging Tiger for next turn. That's really nice. We'll do 4 into the Momo. We'll go 6 with the Jinbei. And then we'll go 7 with lead. This is looking pretty nice so far. He can gain a life with this Kawamatsu combo, but it's going to cost him a couple cards. He's already down to 1, 7 in hand. We have the Raging Tiger for next turn. He does play the Izo to rest the Doflamingo blocker. That is fair. If he has an Onami, we might have walked into that one a little bit. Does hit us with the 8. We will have to take this one. No triggers and no triggers. Can we play the Kaido next turn? I don't expect we will, but we can. We do get the Gion for another 2k, which is nice. He plays the Luna. Interesting. And then goes 8 into our life. Crashing these 2. Send the Hiyori back. Okay, well, that's interesting. We now don't have a blocker. None of these are going to wake up. I was not expecting the Luna from Yamato. That's pretty cool. I don't think we want to take this one. I think we want to counter this. And we could go with the Kaido. Give him these back. Or we can just Raging Tiger them and swing in for 7 and relate the Sengoku. I think I like that more. Let's go with the Raging Tiger. Use the card action. We do get a Jinbei, that's pretty nice. We'll search for the Sengoku. Grab a Moria. And those. Attach all Dons. And we'll attack them for 7. You know, they're not getting a trigger, it's just the Hiyori. And next turn, we've got a decent board. He has no board. He can potentially hit us big here if he swings for more than 6 or 7. He does find the Momo with the Momo. Hiyori, presumably to stack a 0 cost. We get him an extra life. Another Momo, putting the Hiyori on the bottom. Interesting. 6. I think we should counter out of this one. We'll give him the Pudding and the Jinbei. I think it's important to use the Moria to grab back a Warlord here, potentially. Or we can use the Kaido to bounce his guys, and then swing in 5/5. That doesn't seem great. I think I prefer swinging big with the Pudding, big with the Hancock, big with the Jinbei, and playing out the Moria. So we'll do 2 into the Momo. He wants to block this hit, that's incredible. He doesn't. Let's go 7 with the Jinbei. We need to keep 4 for the Moria. He does get the Noah's Ark trigger. Interesting. Interesting. Do we want to Moria back a Doflamingo blocker and then play that out? I don't hate that, actually. Yeah. So I think we will go with the 6. He takes. Follow the Moria. Grab back the Doflamingo blocker. Follow this over the Sengoku. And I think next turn we are going for game, so we'll leave the Raging Tiger on top. Throw a couple 2Ks in case. And return those there. And end the game. End the turn. We do have the 3K counter, which is not too bad. He has the Holy Jones to tap down our blocker. And we do have the Gum Gum Rain to counter out of that one, and that should be the game. I don't know why he didn't. I guess he couldn't go all in there because he needed these next hits to be bigger. We'll take this one. And we'll take this one if he chooses to. He does not. And he concedes. So the Luna really caught me off guard there. Is that something new that Yamato is playing? That's pretty cool. The Noah's Ark trigger as well was interesting. It wouldn't have really mattered with the where he had the Holy Jones, because he can rest our 2 Doflamingo blockers anyway. But yeah, it was nice we were able to keep our life pretty high for most of the game. I think potentially I could have taken the hit a little earlier, but we got the win. More Raging Tigers would have been nice as well to get rid of these Momos. But hey, let's get into the next one. Okay, so that was the Boa leader. Hope you enjoyed those games. I had a lot of fun with this deck. It's definitely a deck I want to play more. I might save this to locals next week. The Raging Tiger and the Red Rock are so much fun to use, and getting to draw a card and remove a body is so cool. This card's also really good. This doesn't see as much play in the Doflamingo in 08.5, so getting some use out of this now is really fun. Also, having just the good text for Nami is very appreciated. I hate Nami. The deck is so boring. Anyway, if you can think of anything you would do to this deck list to change it, let me know. I'm maybe interested in a couple more Warlords to try and have a little more aggro early against the matchups like Pudding. Also, I'm not sure we need this Femur. It's not bad, but I'm not sure we need it with the abundance of removal that we have. And again, in 8.5, this deck gets a couple more cards. You get the Trafalgar Law, which can bounce a guy, which is pretty nice. You also get the Boa blocker, which is better for Doflamingo than it is for Boa for sure, but it's still pretty good. 4/6 blockers are a classic. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I'm going to try and get as many videos out as I can. And you guys have a lovely day.